Hello, Zenith. This is your host, E.T., with another astrology video for you. Today, we are moving along the wheel, and we will be discussing the Scorpio archetype. And I must admit, before I begin, that this is a very difficult energy to pin down, as well as do videos for. Even though I myself have plenty of Scorpio energy. So, Scorpio. As I said in Virgo archetype, and you can go back and watch that video, Scorpio is compared to Medusa. So typically, it's the house of fear, the 8th house, the house of death, the house of transformation, the house of accidents, the house of sudden transformations, sudden occurrences. You know, the ups and downs of life. 8th house also rules inheritance. 7th house is marriage. You know, where two come together. But the 8th house is when two become one. So it is considered the house of death, because metaphorically we die. We are not the same. It is also the house of sex, psychology, metaphysics, the occult, pranic healing, paranormal activity, astrology, all things that are considered taboo, all things that are occult, all things that are secretive or private, right? Same energy. We'll talk about that later. Same concept, but different energy behind it, I should say. The 8th house is shared resources, right? Because here's one person and here's another person, and when they come together, they are one now. They've both died to create this new creature. And this represents the shared energy, the shared money, the shared resources, right? The shared inheritance, whether it's land or accolades or assets, whatever it is, it's shared. It also rules over law, of taxes, a lot of things that people don't really like, that they don't like to really get into. So, you know, it's feared. It's a scary place. We don't know what's there. It's the unknown. Fortunately, the Pluto and Scorpio generation, which I belong to, is really here to help bring light upon these things that are misunderstood and feared by the mainstream collective and society. So, where do we begin? Typically, I want to reiterate this. Reading for Scorpio is hard. I remember a specific reading I did for someone who had so much in Scorpio, and I distinctly remember it being, this is the most difficult reading I've ever given, because what is on the surface isn't really what's there with this energy. Scorpio is the still, deep water. What you see is not what you get. There are levels to this. There are deep things brewing underneath the surface. The other types can be a little more bubbly and a little more hard on the sleeve, right? Scorpio, not so much. Scorpio is intense, right? It's likened, it's compared with the actual scorpion, right? Which is, I mean, who likes scorpions? they're gonna sting you. They come out at night. They they're magical, they're special, they glow in the dark. But when you see a scorpion, you're not really happy to see it. At least I'm not. So, maybe you have pet scorpions, you like to pet them, you like to have them crawl on your face or in your mouth or whatever it is, and that's fine. But I would probably say a majority of the collective is not like that. So, what you see is not what you get with this energy. It is a very deep sign, right? Intensity is one of the key words, I would say. In the lower forms, which is majority of Scorpios, are going to be kind of controlling, really working to get the outcome that they desire, and they're going to be doing this in a manipulative way. Not all the time, but most of the time it's about control. So these people want to use that to their own means. So let's talk a little bit about Scorpio. Scorpio is a fixed water sign, right? The 3 water signs are Cancer, which if you haven't watched the Cancer video, please do. That's a cardinal water and the most intuitive sign. I think it is very, Scorpio really represents the depths, okay? It's fixed water, which is still water. It really is the deepest sign. Cancer is more fluid, it's more cardinal, it's rushing waters. But the Scorpio is very still and deep, and you really don't know what's lurking in the depths, right? It rules the genitals, reproduction. Okay, 8th house, Scorpio also rules, tantric practices. Pranic healing. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Things that are secretive, things that are behind the veil, things that are psychic. Psychics are seen through this energy, okay? Even though Cancer has the strongest intuition, Scorpio is still a seer. Scorpio is all water signs, really. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They're all, like I said, that's the oldest element. That's the most feminine element. The Tao Te Ching is talking about, be like water. Water will just take the form of whatever it's in, Be like the Tao. Be like water. Indestructible. Holding memory. So Scorpio, this energy, like all water signs, can taste the atmosphere, can taste the water, the cloud, right? And get insights into what's going on around this energy. Psychic insights. Intuitive knowings. There's a lot of clair gifts, right? Clairsentience, clairaudience. Even though Scorpio traditionally rules the reproductive organs, I would say that there is a link to the third eye, to the Anya chakra, to perception. Scorpios are excellent at cutting through the bullshit and seeing things for what they really are. Right? The subconscious. Boom. The lowest part of someone. They can get it. They can feel it. They can just... because they resonate there. They're not caught up with the charm. They might be able to turn it on. I know very many charming Scorpios. And I can play the game too, but the truth is I have plenty of Scorpio on my chart. You can feel it, right? You know it. So charm is not going to work on everyone. And that's something I forgot to say about Libra in my last video. Go listen to Libra. And that is, Librans are very charming. They can charm the socks off of you. Okay, but moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio is a little more serious, a little more lethal. Traditionally ruled by Mars, which is god of war. It wasn't until we discovered Pluto later that we assigned Pluto to Scorpio, which makes sense, you know, the subconscious mind, the subdominant, you know. So Pluto is the modern ruler, which is all about death and transformation and rebirth. Okay, so this energy is really hard to pin down because the snake is always shedding its skin. It's always being created into something else before, you know, different from what it was. And so this is the Scorpio energy again. So it's very transformative. They are shapeshifters, form shifters, constantly going through evolution. You know, if you have strong 8th house in your chart, if you have strong Scorpio, then you yourself, or even strong Pluto, you yourself are going to be going into these types of transformations. You will be very magnetic, kind of, you know, a lethal energy, and that's what I want to get into with the Mars. So Mars traditionally rules Aries and Scorpio. These two are like octaves, right? 1 and 8, right? So they're connected, you know. Aries and Scorpio, they really do have a lot in common, but let me tell you a little bit of the difference, and I love this analogy. In Aries, even though we're not doing Aries video, but they're related, just like Taurus and Libra are related. Aries is more of the, I'm going to fight you out in public, and I'm going to make a fool of you in front of everyone. But I won't kill you. I will have the mercy to let you live. And it's more of a show, right? Scorpio is not like this. Scorpio will pretend to be one way while totally being another way. And like the owl in the night, like the, you know, what do they call that? The predator that hunts in the night, they will fall on their prey and take them out without anyone knowing, without anyone seeing, right? And it's straight for the jugular. It's straight for the kill shot. It's not a performative enactment like Aries. So the Scorpio Mars is different, right? It's more like, I'm going to fall on you when you least expect it, and I don't care who's watching, you know, and I'm going straight for the kill. I don't need recognition. I don't need to make a show of this because, you know, in the dead of the night, I'm gonna do this. So it's serious. It's lethal, and that's why, you know, Scorpio rules death and the occult and all this stuff. So it's a scary sign. People are scared of this. You have Pluto on the ascendant. You know, you're a Platonic person. You're gonna scare people. You know, Moon conjunct Pluto, whatever it is, heavy Pluto, heavy Scorpio, heavy 8th house. Not everyone is gonna jive with this energy because it's triggering. You know, suddenly we have to go into the world of the unknown, and suddenly we have to be presented with things that we're not really comfortable with. So these are the two differences of Mars and Aries, Mars and Scorpio, right? And not really. Also just the Scorpio and the Aries energies in themselves. Okay, so this is kind of something important to think about, at least I believe so, and how these two different signs who have more or less the same rulers go about doing their thing. So why is Scorpio a hard sign to read? And the reason is because, like I was saying earlier, what you see is not always what you get. There's levels to this. So let's talk about the totem. And I bring this up in basically any strong scorpionic chart that I read. So it'll be nice to just do this one more time for this video, and then, you know, I can refer people to this or whatever. But the lowest form of Scorpio, and it's typically the most common, you know, Ascension on this totem is possible, but it is very rare, especially at the top, and we'll get to that. So most are operating at this lowest level, which is the Scorpion. And the Scorpion is just concerned with itself, its own ego, its own control dynamics, what's in front of it. It's got one stinger, and it's, gonna try and... It has a very limited view, and it's hiding under rocks, and it's hiding, in the deep depths of things. You're not really gonna see them. And it's like, what do you call it? Like an animal that's just living off of instinct, or like natural, just tendency, just kind of like autopilot. This is how most of this energy works, right? They're really just concerned with control and self, gratification, absorption, self-absorption, you know what I mean? Like, so this is typically how it's going to go. And they're not opposed to being controlled or controlling others through, manipulation, through sex, through things, through this kind of energy, right? The most powerful people in the world can be seduced. So that's a very powerful energy, and I would say that is related to the 8th house, related to Scorpio, related to Pluto, magnetism. You have to be careful in synastry too if there's a lot of Pluto alignments, or even in your natal chart. But that is another video, and I'm going to just go on with this totem. So above the Scorpion, which is just the ego, the basic instincts, and I'm not saying ego is bad, Ego is good, it's healthy, we all have it. So it's about integration of shadow and the proper use of it with the divine will. And then the ego can be a tool, or a lens in which you use, for source. So I don't mean ego in a negative way, it's just a very self-absorbed resonance. Okay, what's above the Scorpion is the snake, right? The snake represents wisdom. The snake represents Kundalini energy. We're moving things. We're not just stuck in the root chakra, stuck in the sacral, stuck in the, I'm trying to survive, survival mentality. Now we have the wisdom of the fluid, snake energy, which is a medicine of its own, and it's related to healing, right? The caduceus, the staff with the snakes going up and down. Like I said in another video, I can't remember what, representing the spine. I think it was Gemini I was talking about. The spine and the snakes going up the spine, the caduceus, the medical emblem, and at the top you have, right, the winged phoenix, the eagle. So that snake really represents ancestral wisdom. It starts to represent, the flow of energy through the Jacob's ladder, through the spine, through the human body-mind complex. And the snake, slithers around and eats up the Scorpion, right? But it's not that far off from the Scorpion. So that brings us to our next totem. And before I move on, I know I mentioned this earlier, but I just want to say, the snake is known to shed its skin. The snake, it really is known to change form and to release what it was from the past and to be born again, rebirth, right? Scorpio, into a new being, and then shed the skin again, as it evolves, as it continues its progression, as it continues to transform. So above the snake totem, scorpion, snake, we have eagle. And the eagle is a bit rare for people to embody. It is possible. I have seen it, I think, very rare, I would say. The eagle has its nest, has its perch at a very high vantage point. The scorpion is stuck in its own little world at the bottom of the rock, the bottom of the ocean, right? And the snake isn't far off it. It's still slithering around, hiding out. Maybe it'll come bask in the sun a little bit. And, it's still kind of, you don't see these things, being very extroverted. The eagle has a completely different view than the scorpion and the snake. The eagle has a bird's eye view of so much territory. It literally soars from its high perch, its high placement of its nest on the mountaintop, and can see miles and miles and miles, above its prey, and to come swooping down and to snatch up its dinner without the prey even knowing where it's coming from. It's coming from the sky. So, the snake has no chance. The snake can't even see that dimension. You understand? The snake can't fly. Even though I have had a snake fall on me from the sky, and that was because it was in a tree, but, I felt like I had to mention that in this video. Just casually walking through the woods and, oh my God, there's a snake falling from the sky. That's not normal, okay? But it is possible, so be careful. But the point is that the eagle has a totally different viewpoint, has a totally different vantage point, and comes down and gobbles up that snake for breakfast, as well as the scorpion. They don't stand a chance with the eagle. The eagle has such a broader range of vision. And this is the transcending from your just, this is my world, I live under a rock, to, oh my God, now I can see beyond my own ego. I can see beyond my own self-perception, my own instinctual need for survival. I am now moving beyond the root chakra, which most of the population is stuck in, right? So it takes a lot of work to move up into the higher dimensions, into the higher forms of resonance, right? The heart. So the eagle is superior simply because of its ability to see things from long distances and its view of the entire ecosystem based on that high nest, right? And right, they'll only put their perch or their nest. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. I'm not really a bird person. I love them, but I don't know much about them. This is more metaphorically, figuratively. But eagles, they don't put their nest down below. It's always going to be way up high, so they can see everything that comes miles away before you can even, have a chance. You can't sneak up on the eagle. Just not going to happen. The highest totem. We go from scorpion, snake, eagle, to phoenix. The phoenix is the highest healer possible. The phoenix is born from the ashes. The phoenix has healing abilities from its pain, from its tears, from its traumas, from its trials. This water, this wisdom, these teardrops, this struggle has been converted and transformed into medicine. So the phoenix can heal. It is the ultimate healer. It is the highest healer. I apologize. I have my familiar here. She can get a little jealous when I am giving someone else energy. Not many people can embody this. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it. Very rare. Very rare. It's the awakening of the Kundalini energy. It is the ultimate healing energy. It has transcended all lower forms and has even transcended the ego, right? Which is still concerned with its own whatever. The phoenix is the highest healer. The phoenix is such a magical creature. Like I said, it's born from the ashes. It's born from the refining fire. It figuratively represents an energy that is so healing and transformative that it's not even, have you ever met a phoenix? It's a mystical creature, right? We can believe in it. We can trust in that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying that it's so rare. It's so magical that this isn't something we can even really speak much on. You have to go into the folklore and the mythology to know what the phoenix represents. But to paraphrase and to put it bluntly, it really represents transformation. It represents being born from the ashes, being born from the ashes, being born from the depths, and rising from one's trauma, from one's struggles, from one's journey to embody, it's really the cycle of death and rebirth, right? Is what the phoenix represents. So Scorpios are excellent detectives. They're excellent researchers. They're excellent psychics, astrologers, people, sex workers, I believe, are seen from this energy as well. I think that Scorpio can be very misunderstood. I think they have a tendency to be highly controlling and manipulative if they are not aware, of their own tendencies. Scorpio is able to, find the thing that other people cannot find. They can see it clearly. People with Scorpio North nodes are typically here to experiences. They're here to experience transformation. The opposite of Scorpio is Taurus, right? Which is the physical thing. Give me the money, blah, blah, blah. The physical body, the bull, right? Scorpio is the opposite of that. It's not the actual thing. It's the experience. So you'll see a lot of these Scorpionic people or North Node Scorpio people that, go in these transformative journeys. Whether it's backpacking across the PCT or the ACT or whatever it may be, or going through a journey through plant medicine, a psychedelic journey, a healing journey. Scorpio really represents this transformative energy. So, and it really depends. It really depends how this shows up specifically in your natal chart. And if you would like to learn more, then please book a reading with me. I love to read astrology charts for people. I'm always down. I also do synastry, which is chart-on-chart comparison, compatibility between two people. I'm also doing an open for human design readings. I read human design constantly for people. And thank you for supporting this channel. I'm so excited. We have 10 subscribers. It's been a lot of fun to make these videos every day. I'm getting to a late start today. That's because this energy it's just hard to talk about. It's hard to pin down, you know? And like I said, I have plenty of this energy, so it's really just, it can be difficult. And no one's got it all figured out, so not even me, you know? So take everything with a grain of salt. If I forgot anything about Scorpio, please remind me in the comments section. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, check out all the other videos. I will be continuing with my Zodiac archetypes as time moves forward. And I'm also open to requests. If you have a video request, please let me know in the comments section, and I will do my best to get there. And in the meantime, thank you so much for all the love and support, and you guys book a reading with me, and I will see you soon in the next video. Take care.